Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be on a Sunday night for Top Split TV's exclusive coverage of Round 8, Season 19 of the Sunday Night Lights, live from sunny England here tonight by the looks. We're at Brands Hatch Course for Round 8. I'm your host, Alex McKellar, and joining me once again is the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, welcome back to the action. A big night ahead of us once again.
That's exactly right, Alex. And a big soft tonight with a 33-11, 43-11, sorry, my apologies. And sunny in England in the same sentence. I can't believe it, but we are experiencing that right now. And it should be an absolute cracker using the Indy layout, or the GP layout, sorry, here for Brands Hatch tonight, Alex.
Yeah, that's the way, and a big lineup here tonight. Strongest field of the week by a margin, I have to say. If it wasn't for the warm-up race, there wouldn't have been a 4K split, and yet we've had two of them in a row. 4100 the warm-up race, 4300, 1,000 I rating, 1,000 clear of the nearest soft, and it hasn't. Look, the participation's been good this week. It hasn't been outstanding like the weeks leading up, but I do expect that we'll see some great action. We've got a great lineup here tonight. Enzo Cantor preliminarily, oh, that's a good word, preliminary pole with a 150.4. That'll get knocked off. Edwards, Johansson, Ben Smith back for another run. The Aussies having some really rough ride with the network connectivity here tonight. Hopefully the Gremlins won't see Smith out of the race at any stage. Cristobal Otero's back. He's back in the 5 car tonight. Great to see one of the top Iberian drivers back in with us in Sunday Night Lights again tonight. Christian Perez, similarly, he's joining us once again. Christian's been working really hard, Corey. He's done plenty of laps around many of the tracks, and he's found some extraordinary pace. His I rating now is just 1 point under the 5K mark. Hopefully he'll crack it here tonight for a good one, Corey.
Oh, we can only hope, Alex. And another name that I've just noticed that we haven't seen for a while is the one and only Christian Kambanka from California, Alex. He is the 10-plated car here tonight, and he's looking pretty strong so far. Hopefully he can bang out some awesome laps here. Currently P5 with his first lap of running, and looking to improve here on a second lap.
Absolutely. Kabanka came second in the warm-up race tonight behind Perez. He started 8th and worked his way through a really strong 4K plus field. So expect to see big things from Kabanka, Breaking Bad Motorsports course. We've got some of the familiar ones out there. Luke Whitten in the Team Milo car here tonight. Although the livery's not quite coming through just yet. That's probably because I haven't turned trading paints on. That's a tip for young players. You want to see the colours on the cars. Turn trading paints on. Manu Luqueta, Manuel, he's back for another run. The Italian driver. He took the world by storm in his first event at VIR with brakes bigger than you've ever seen before, the Thrustmaster Mivano driver. But anyway, let's see what he can do in his return to Sunday Night Lights tonight. Ollie Peacock, another one from UK&I. He's got some pace. Took out an eventful race at Nords earlier this season. Corey, that was one for the books.
Indeed, it was, and that was easily one of the most fantastic races we've had. But we've also got a couple of unknowns in the field, Alex, like Gianmarco Simicelli sitting down there in the 19th place car, 19 plated car, my apologies. But currently, it looks like Christian Perez with the top time with a 1:38.415, which is a pretty blistering quick lap around here, Alex.
Yeah, low 38s, I should say. Mid to low 38s is the pace and quality around here most sessions. Simoncelli's a 39.7, but I tell you what, 3,200 to get into the race tonight if you wanted to join out on track. Whitten now sporting the more familiar colours of Team Milo. That's not a bad field to line up in. I'll tell you what, you expect some quality drivers around you when the lowest seated guys are 3,200. So expect to see some good racing out here tonight. It is quite technical in places. Beautiful sweeping corners out the back at Hawthorn, Westfield and through to Sheens. A lot of fun out there. 4th gear corners, 5th, through Hawthorn, dropping down into fourth, Westfield and Sheens. If you're in traffic, you might grab third gear, but they are flowing corners. And then there's some technical elements too. Paddock Hill, I expect to bring a few unstuck tonight. Perhaps a bit of shopping trolley action into Druids, the hairpin at turn 3 there, or turn 2. Look, there'll be action all throughout this track. Corey, you got Perez and Smith, Edwards, Peacock, Rivera, I should say, provisionally your top 5 out there. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, Alex, with the mix of the slow early corners with the fast section of the GP area, it's going to be hard to tell because a lot of the guys will be getting used to the higher speed sections of the GP section. As I'm looking at Matthew Leslie and Marcelo Riviera working through the GP section now, but it's all going to come unstuck for them in turn 2, I do believe. Druids, it's a big braking zone, especially when you come off that very highly unbalanced turn 1, which you can't take with any great deal of speed in the first couple of laps while you're waiting for the tires to warm up. But these guys are all somewhat professional at what they do, or else they wouldn't be on this level. So I'm actually hoping for a close, fast, hard race, Alex.
Yeah, that's the plan. I think we'll get a few. Hopefully the network gremlins that have been affecting the ANZ drivers all night will stay away. We've got a few in there as the clock runs out. We might start running through our grid. Christian Perez takes out top spot in the qualifying standings from Iberia. Ben Smith for Evolution Racing Team just behind, less than a tenth. Expect that to get close there from P2. Simon Edwards, the one-seated driver here tonight from UK and I, starting in P3. Ollie Peacock is UK and I compatriot in P4. Marcello Rivera, I should say, from ANZ in P5. Christian Gabanka for Breaking Bad Motorsports, starting out of P6. Dennis Johansson, done plenty of races, plenty of laps around here. Pace to burn as well. Watch out for him coming through the field a little bit, starting from P7. Thomas Torp, Dennis's compatriot there in P8. P9, ANZ's Rod Pidnar making another run at Sunday Night Lights glory. P10, Matthew Leslie. Joe Osborne in P11 from UK and I. P12, Conrad Gabowski. There we go. That's a new name to Sunday Night Lights, looking to trip me up. Ego, it's Ballard in P13. Sander Vanderwell in P14. P15, Manu Lecchetta makes a return to Sunday Night Lights. P16, Gianmarco Simoncelli from Iberia. P17, Team Milo's Luke Witten. Philip Saunders from ANZ in P18. Thrustmaster Bivano, Enzo Cantor in P19. Cristobal Otero Roman in P20 as the starter gets set to take his marks. Green lights mean we are away. Poor start, or is it just cutting across? Is the 7 car there of Dennis Johansson looking to get the inside run as they come down into turn 1 for the first time on the run-up Pilgrim's Rise into Druids. I'll tell you what, I'm expecting some action back here in the mid-pack of the field here. This car's going everywhere, but everyone's seemingly getting through okay. 2x2 a little bit. Oh, there's one back to front. That's a 10 car. I'm going to say that's Kabanka has been turned on the exit, and that's the very second-hand looking Skippy there. Kabanka, not the way he wanted to start out, Corey.
No, it's definitely not, Alex. And we also lost one on turn 1 as well, with Matthew Leslie getting shoved out wide and spun around. He's sporting a little bit of damage himself. But back up at the front of the pack, Alex, we have a very fierce race going on here between Perez, Smith and Edwards.
Yeah, absolutely. You got Edwards in P3 at the moment, one of the unluckiest drivers, as we keep saying. Hopefully his luck comes out a bit better tonight as we're through these fast sweeping sections, as I said. Coming up now into Sheens. Beautiful. You can cut those far more than you think then. And then you come down here into Sterling's. One of the tighter, but still high speed in third gear there in the skips. Oh, Oh, we see some very cold tyres taking their toll somewhat on the rear of these cars as they're flicking out left, right and centre. Oh, Perez runs really wide there, nearly grabbing the grass as we see now. Leslie coming up the inside, is he? No, it's Smith, I beg your pardon. Smith now, we got confused with Leslie in the pits. And it is indeed Smith going through, and he's leading him out of the start of lap 2 on the approach into Druids now, Corey.
And he's doing a fantastic job now that he's taken the lead away. Simon Edwards still holding off Ollie Peacock there for the 3rd position. These guys are racing hard but fair at the moment, Alex. And not too much, a lot of people just behind these guys taking a lot of liberties there with the track limits. Pretty sure that was Dennis Johansson and Marcelo Riviera there, going just a little bit beyond where you should be going on the exit of that corner. But these guys are racing close, hard and fair at the moment, Alex, but that could only last a matter of laps, especially around here.
Absolutely, up Pilgrims now into Hawthorn. And these front 4 now desperately trying to keep ahead of the chasing Johansson. He's up 2 spots already from where he started into the top 5 and chasing these guys down fast. They've already into the 145s after lap 1. I expect them up from a standing start. I expect them now to drop right down, obviously below that. And as we see in the rear now, it's Marcelo Rivera. He's almost lost it on the exit of Sheens there through Sterling's. Now they're coming into the final corner through Clark Curve. Again, quick flick into 3rd gear, back up to 4th for the run. The run here, you finish in 5th gear by the time, very briefest of periods as you come into Paddock Hill at the start of lap 3. The laps tick by faster than you expect here tonight, Corey, but there is 15 of them and plenty of action still ahead.
Yeah, exactly, Alex. And we had a little bit of action behind. I was just keeping a little bit of an eye on the 3rd pack there that's being led up by Rod Pinder in the 17. And right at the very back of it, Simoncelli has been spun coming off of the final corner. Looks like he's got the car gathered back up again. Not any damage that I can see on the machine, but hopefully he can get that thing going and get back towards that pack.
Yeah, absolutely. Pidnar on the front there of a fairly racy pack by the looks. It's it's about 6 cars deep with Luke Whitten, Team Milo, sole Team Milo driver here tonight in the midst there on the tail end of that. And you've got 2 hard charging Thrustmaster Movano drivers in Lucetta and Cantor, nose to tail there, the 8 or 9 and 11 car. Meanwhile, back up at front, you've got Smith, Perez, Edwards and Peacock still trying to hold off Johansson. And once again, the rear of Rivera's car stepping out. But it won't be long now, and we'll see Johansson join the tail end of this, and we'll have 6 cars in the lead pack as he's within about that magic 1 second draft range at the moment. As again we see the lead car, this time Smith, go very wide, nearly grab the rear on the grass. We see there, you can see the 7 car of Ollie Peacock already trying to take a little bit off a line that's off the racing line to see if he can't keep Johansson out of the draft for another lap. But I think he'll struggle. I'd say by the end of this lap, if not shortly after, this will be a pack of 6.
Yeah, I definitely expect Johansson to be catching up to these guys, Alex, and he's not going to be content with sitting there back in 5th for much longer when he does reach the back of them. A little bit of battle here starting to form between Edwards and Peacock. Edwards just getting the exit of 3 just a little bit wrong there now. Peacock all over his gearbox, trying to look for a way around. If he gets into the draft, he could have a chance coming up to the next corner. But Edwards, wise to such moves, staying over on the right side of the track to defend, pulling over to the left to take the racing line. Very experienced head on those shoulders, Alex.
Yeah, Peacock obviously looking in his mirrors now. You can see Johansson and Rivera coming, and they are now just 4 tenths behind, and our pack has become one of 6 cars rather than 4, although Edwards now with a 6 tenths, nearly 7 tenths behind Perez. And I tell you what, Smith and Perez between them are no slowpokes. All they need is half a chance and they will be. Oh, Perez, he's got the rear loose on the exit of Sterling's there on the run down to Clark curve. That might well have just cost them any chance of getting away, as we see Edwards now, who's got, of course, plenty of pace himself. And look who's there, Johansson on the back of Peacock now. Rivera has almost tailed off. He's about 9 tenths behind, still in the draft. But here's an interesting thing, a psychological thing, as we see Johansson take a massive bit of the first corner curbing. It's when you're sitting in the toe of someone else and you rejoin another pace. We see Johansson go around the outside of Druids, tuck back in behind the 7 car of Peacock there. And the question is, when that front car, Johansson in this case, picks up a sniff of the draft from the pack in front, you run the risk of getting dropped yourself. And at the moment, Rivera's in that position. The 9-plated car in P6 tonight he's just starting to tail back in, only half a second behind at this stage.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. But that's because since Johansson's gotten onto the back of Peacock, he was in the draft before that was pulling him away from Rivera. But now that Dennis is stuck behind Peacock, he's slowing up a little bit because he's got to adjust for the cars in front. Whereas before, when they were just getting that sniff of the draft, he was still able to go a little bit of full power. And this should bring Rivera back up to the tail of Johansson. Although in saying that, visually, it looks like he is still continuing to get a little bit dropped away here, Alex.
Oh, the rear of the car
sideways
again.
into the grass.
Through Sheens again, he's just got the rear, and it's very easy to lose it there, honestly. You cut the corner, but if you turn in too early and you run wide, you do run the risk of pointing the nose into the barrier on the right-hand side of the track. And that has really, Rivera now 9 tenths behind. He will be doing everything he can to stay in touch with that pack. Meanwhile, we've got Perez tucked in behind Smith now. Smith, of course, been going sensationally well. Had a bump in the road last week with a big incident, but prior to that had won a couple of these Sunday night lights events. I'll get that right eventually. And yet at other times had podiums. So Smith looking to really well and truly keep that good run intact. As you see, there's Cantor now in the pits and coming out. I'm wondering if he's had an incident along the way, but looks to have been a straight run through. Maybe he just forgot to refuel, Corey, because it was only a short run. Only stopped for 2.2 seconds, just grabbing a fast repair and going through. There was no tow involved. As we jump back up the front, and Perez now spreading out, trying to his best. Look, Edwards is now 1.1. Oh, Johansson really trying to make every post a winner with or use every bit of the truck. Oh, there's contact. Looked like a bit of netcode there. Edwards there with the 7 car of Peacock. The UK and I compatriots having trouble here tonight, and it's let Johansson through. Peacock has got about an 8 tenths of a second. That'll be swallowed up pretty quickly by Johansson, I would have thought. But more importantly, our leaders are now out by 1.2 seconds. And I tell you what, I don't know that they'll be headed from here. With the pace in those front two, the odds are against the guys behind, but they'll have to work really hard if they want to do it.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, Alex. And if you actually notice, Peacock is sporting a little bit of damage the previous lap going through turn number 1. Himself and Edwards did get into a little bit of a skirmish. Edwards was just a little bit slow on the exit. Peacock just knocked his nose cone off there a little bit. But at the moment, it looks like Benjamin Smith and Christian Perez not going to be headed at all, with Peacock especially sporting that little bit of damage. It's going to be slowing him up a little bit, Alex. Going to leave him a bit vulnerable here to Johansson in the coming laps.
Yeah, if you look at the distance, probably with that damage that you're talking about with Peacock, probably the more important gap is the 2.3 seconds off the lead that Johansson is in P4. Plus he's got to get around Peacock, who, whilst he'll be a little bit off the pace, he'll be racing for position the whole way through. The 2 car of Johansson there behind will have to get by him and probably cost himself a bit of time. They're already 1.6 seconds off the front 2. Plus, so 2.1 seconds, I should say now, that Johansson is behind off the back of Perez, I think. So these front 2, the 6 and the 3-plated, Smith and Perez, they're odds on from here, Corey. It's just whether or not this chasing pack can run them down.
Well, Alex, the smart money would have to be if Johansson can get in front of Peacock, and lead this pack of three, I reckon they'd be in with a shot of making it back to our leaders. But until that happens, I don't think there's going to be too much of a chance. I mean, Peacock is definitely wringing the neck of this poor little Skippy as he's trying his best to catch back up to them. But at the moment, there's just a little bit of too much separation between himself and Johansson for uh, draft effects to really take place, and for these guys to use the three-car advantage of trying to catch up to the two-car pack. But in saying that, they're starting to close up a little bit here, heading into Druids. They could prove me wrong, Alex, as they get really close to each other, coming around Druids, heading down to turn three.
Yeah, I'd expect some changes in position there, perhaps at the back, the run out the back this time round. But at the moment, the other battle that's going on is led by Otero, the five-plated car here tonight, down in P9. He's got Lucetta, the sole Thrustmaster Mivano car, tucked in behind him with Thomas Torp and Phil Sanders. They look, they're the closest thing to a racing pack after the guys up front. And then, like I said now, as I jump back up and see Johansson go past Peacock, and it's it's Rivera trying to poke his nose and go with him. I think he realises with the damaged car in front of him, this is his chance. He's got to get by, or he might see Johansson just drive away from them, and it'll be all she wrote for that final step on the podium.
Well, that's right, Alex. I mean, we know that Johansson definitely has the enough pace in just himself to catch up to these front guys. And although it's going to be a bit of a struggle for him to do it solo, he could quite easily pull away from Peacock and Rivera here. But it's going to be all on Rivera to try and get around Peacock to use that draft with Johansson to try and catch these front guys. Without that, these two behind him are probably just going to start falling off by the wayside. But in saying that, Peacock using the draft, sticking with Johansson at the moment. What I said could be coming true, Alex. These three could now start hooking up with the pace of Johansson to try and bridge this gap between themselves and the leaders.
Yeah, so the damage there on Peacock will look at. He could probably stick with the draft there, no problems. But I think he's come full on race time when they're battling for those positions in the last lap or two. I think he's going to struggle just because. Oh, as we see Rivera, what a move up the inside! It's cost him exit speed. Now here's the real deal: will Johansson stick? Who's he going to give the draft to? I think he's going to give it to Peacock. Will Rivera make that stick? What a move there up the inside of Surtees. And they've come a cropper. I don't know if that was netcode or what, but let's go and have a quick look at the replay. As we're on, we'll just ride along with the two of them once again. What's it look like? Slow it down here. Peacock turns in. Oh, look, you could see daylight there through those two cars for sure. That was all netcode by the looks, but it's an unfortunate part of internet racing. And the servers haven't been kind to the ANZ boys tonight either. So that's an unfortunate part of racing, and that's left Peacock out of this one. Already sporting damage, and it's now Rivera and Johansson left to chase down the front two of Smith and Perez, who have well and truly run away with this. 2.4 seconds now with the balance of what have we got? The balance of 6 laps remaining as the leaders run through Druids on lap 10 this time around. Even with the pace of someone like Johansson, I tell you what, ERT's Ben Smith has been setting the Skippy world on fire on a Sunday night, and I think Perez, who's just been sitting there quietly, biding his time, won't upset the apple cart, or at least have a crack until the last couple.
Yeah, well, that'd be exactly right, Alex. I mean, it'd be just a smart play to sit here behind Smith and just see where he's a little bit lacking. Because, behind someone, you can definitely learn their lines, you can learn where they're strong, you can learn where they're weak, and you can adjust your strategy accordingly. And unfortunately, with that incident between Rivera and Peacock, they've just lost so much time because the three-car draft was working. They were starting to catch these two up ahead. But now that they've disbanded quite a bit, I don't think Dennis will be able to do this all by himself, especially not with Rivera sitting so far behind. But, it's going to be interesting to see what they can do over these remaining 5 laps, Alex.
Yeah, and as we check back in on Peacock, who's now sitting down in sixth position, he's got Vandervelde tucked in behind him, the four-bladed car. They're going to be having a battle there for sixth and seventh. Edwards now all the way back in P8. I can't. I know he and Peacock had it coming together early, but a little bit of a bent front wing sees Edwards well and truly being hunted down by Otero and Lucetta, with Thomas Torp tucked in behind Lucetta there. That's going to be a four-way battle to the end for sure, with just the balance of 5 now as this pack runs through Druids on lap 11. It'll be, these guys will be putting the bit between the teeth for sure, and seeing what they can make of this bumper field. The best, as we said, the best of the week. Strength of field 4,300 for those of you playing at home. 1,000 clear of any other but a Sunday night race this week, and a bumper crop being well supported by the Skippy community here.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. It's an impressive number for sure. It's definitely the biggest one that we've had this season to broadcast. But at the moment, it's still Benjamin Smith leading the way, and Perez just sitting there in his draft, looking for any and all opportunity, just studying right now. As we said, they've only got a balance of about 4.25 laps left now as we start heading towards the final corner. Perez, although he had a little bit of a bad exit coming out of that corner there, heading into the final one, a little bit of daylight between them, Alex. This is, a time that Benjamin Smith could use to maybe try and pull away and secure this win.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Corey. The gap's only 4/10 though. A mistake or two might cost them a bit more, but Rivera now making the move on Johansson into the turn one there at Paddock Hill. He's come out on fire, and now he's really looking to make his stamp. Probably got into his groove now, and looking to put his mark on the final podium position. They are now 3 seconds behind, and Smith in clean air down into the 37s, 37.8 last lap. That's right up there with the best of them undrafted this week for sure. Rivera drafted 37.6 with Johansson's only matching 37.8 last lap. 37.6, look, it's only 2/10. And with only 3.5 laps to go, I don't think that's enough. Well, it's clearly not enough if the mathematician in me serves me well for those two to bridge that gap. So Rivera and Johansson will be battling out for the final step on the podium. As we see now, Perez putting all sorts of pressure out the back onto Smith now. Really starting to show he's there. Put some pressure now as he comes through. Sheens now, big cut, spews out wide, nearly gets the grass that saw Rivera, the rear end of his car, step out so many times in the early laps. But as we start to think about winding this one down, there'll be 3 laps when they cross the line this time round. Who's your money on, Corey?
Oh, Alex, I don't think I could actually put my money down on anyone at the moment. Ben Smith, obviously the favorite of the heart. Perez, the favorite of the gut, but the dark horse says Johansson or Rivera, because it will just take one small mistake from Perez while he's trying to initiate an overtake, and these guys could lose their entire lead, Alex. So at the moment, it's too close for me to call. I don't think I could put my money down on anyone if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, look at Perez now. He's really putting all sorts of pressure, showing the front of the car and the mirrors all around the joint. But the experienced DRT driver of Ben Smith in front, I don't know that he'll be too worried about that. It won't be driving in his mirrors, that's for sure. But look, you're right. It could come all unstuck at the final end of this race. But yeah, look, it'll be interesting to see these two working hard now. Look, Smith now taking the defensive line up Pilgrim's Drop now into Hawthorn. Again, only grabbing 4th to drive it out of that corner. Coming into Westfield. Again, 4th gear. Cut as much as you like there. Smith really pushing hard now as they swing around into Sheens this time. Look at that cut again, and all runs so wide. Easier for Perez in the draft there. These two nose to tail all throughout the race. Smart race by both drivers. Perez letting Smith drive him away, and whilst the others fought over the scraps behind him, and it's resulted in a just shy of a 3 second lead. They're starting to get busy now. That lead's dropping a little bit with Rivera and Johansson chasing him down, but it won't be enough. Smith takes the defensive line, forces Perez around, then comes back onto the racing line to take Paddock Hill. I tell you what, the gloves are off, Corey.
Oh, indeed they are, Alex. We've only got 2 laps left to run in this race, and these guys are starting to get serious. I noticed on the ending parts of the last lap, Perez taking just slightly tighter lines than what Smith was, trying to see if that could gain him a little bit of an advantage as we're heading through turn number 3 now. These guys are separated by just about nothing. There's a little bit of an air gap between them now. That will surely close up when we start to get to some of these straights. These guys are going to start racing hard and maybe a little bit dirty. We won't know that for sure, though, and we're not going to insinuate that. But it's always a possibility, Alex, and that's when the tears will start to come out.
Yeah, absolutely. You got Perez now. He's tucked in behind as we ride on board with Perez. The cross Simart livery all over this one here as they come out the back again. Fourth gear. Nice cut there from Smith in front. Uses all the extent of the track, as you can see now. As they come up to Sheens again. Flick it in about the 50 mark. A little miss of the apex there from Smith. Perez was all over it, as now they're coming through Clark once again up the Clearway straight. Oh, I beg your pardon, it wasn't Clark. We're coming into Clark now. I lost my spot on the map. There we go. Down into third briefly, drop it back into fourth as we come up to the last lap this time round. Perez all over the track now, trying to get an advantage. What can he do in the last lap, Corey?
Well, Alex, all you can do right now is just keep pouring on the pressure, trying to look for those weak spots and maybe trying to find a chink in that armor of Smith. Making Smith go defensive like he is here at Druids is definitely going to help his cause. You see he goes for the tighter line on the exit. He's going to make Smith go defensive just about everywhere, I would imagine. Look at how wide Smith went there coming out of turn 3. This is where Perez is going to take the full advantage of being able to use the entire track, where Smith is limiting himself while mirror driving ever so slowly. I know you said he wasn't going to use the mirrors, Alex, but it definitely looks like he is right now.
Defensive lines throughout for Smith. He's driving beautifully defensively, I have to say. He's giving the room that he needs to, forcing Perez around the outside. One of the fastest corners. Look at that, side by side, no contact. They keep it going around the outside. Again is Perez. This time Smith forces him around the outside again. He can use all the track there. Oh, the little yips there. He keeps it going. He keeps it going again, coming through Sheens this time around. Oh, there's contact. A little bit of hip and shoulder there. It was odds on, but they keep going. They keep going, but it'll be Smith as a result of that contact. Beautifully held by Perez there, it has to be said. Beautiful car control on the grass there. And he'll come around behind Smith now, who's going to take out, I think, what is his third victory of the season on a Sunday Night Lights. Beautiful driving from both drivers there. A little bit of controversy to finish. Oh, no, in the background, Rivera. He's going to be, it looks like a seal drive he's driving. Oh, the wheels literally fall off the wagon. I think he's brought it home. He's had to settle for fourth in the air, fifth, I should say. We better go back and see what happened. He and Johansson coming into the final corner. Let's check it out. Johansson's gone defensive. Coming into Clark. What's happened here? Johansson's put it on the apex and held it there. No dramas there. They keep going. Oh, what's happened? He's come back on and run into him by the looks. And then a bit of netcode's put him into the wall. I thought Johansson left enough room on the inside there. Rivera's, I don't know if it was netcode initially, but it was certainly netcode after the put him nose into the wall. But I mean, that's pretty comical. The finish. I know he won't be happy with fifth out of that, but I mean, really, you got to have a laugh, Corey.
Oh, you do, Alex. And unfortunately, the server bugs just got me right at the end of that race, so I wasn't able to watch the replay there with you. But it was a great race by all, and Smith and Perez the way that they handled that last lap, going side by side for such a long time, and Perez just hanging there on the outside, absolutely brilliant racing to watch, Alex.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can't find the last lap. Let's check out that incident from Smith. No, it was a bit before that. We'll go back a bit further. Here it was. So there was contact. Let's just go back and have a look from in slow mo here. So we can just see the two cars there. Smith's caught a bit of the curve. Oh, he's really cut that a lot. And if anything, the trajectory there, he's probably pushed a little bit out. Tell you what, Perez is not left him a lot of room either. But you'd have to, oh, look, it's hard to say. I don't know if the inside curbing's unsettled him more than he would have expected, but yeah, it's a tough one there. It's going to go down as a racing incident, I'd say. The stewards would probably call it that on the last lap at the end of the day, but certainly was a really before even prior to that, I have to say it was really strong defensive effort from Smith in the last a couple of laps, and Perez. Geez, he put the blowtorch on there. But let's take a look at our results after 15 laps here for round 8 at Brands Hatch tonight, a Sunday Night Lights. Benjamin Smith for Evolution Racing Team. Flag to flag victory. Didn't get the fastest lap, didn't get the Triple Crown, but did get the flag to flag. He'll be pretty happy with that, given the lead-in race or the warm-up race. He got dumped from a network problems that seem to be going on tonight. But for the main event, he's managed to hang on for a win. That's a great drive. Christian Perez, similarly, he's been a really in hot form, an informed driver, if you will, from the Iberian club, and showed it very much so here tonight. Just running with Smith, one of the world's top drivers, and sticking it to him right all the way through to the end. Johansson, he's up 4 position, not qualified the strongest. It's his first race of the night, but he still managed to grab a podium there with Rod Pidnar. He's picked it up Bradbury style at the end there for P4 for ANZ. Marcelo Rivera. He's hung on from P5, driving something that looked more like a sea lion than a skippy by the end of it. Cristobal Otero for a cross simmer competition. He's come home for P6 tonight. Great to see Otero back in the series. P7, Sander Vandervelde. He's hung on for P7 tonight. P8, Italian driver Manuel Luqueta. He's joined us once again for Thrustmaster Mivano. P9 tonight, Thomas Torp. P10, ANZ's Philip Saunders. UK and I, Simon Edwards has only managed P11 tonight after some rubbing shoulders with his UK and I compatriot earlier in the race, and Thrustmaster Mivano's Enzo Cantor all the way down in P12 after a run through the pits. But I've got to say, not a bad result considering he did go through the pits. Luke Witten in P13 for Team Milo here tonight. Iberia's Egoitz Ballard in P14. P15, Breaking Bad Motorsports, Christian Kabanka, who never recovered from that opening lap tussle. P16, Conrad Gabowski. P17, Gianmarco Simoncelli from Iberia. P18 tonight, Matteo Leslie. Joe Osborne, a Skippy regular. He's 1 lap down for UK and I tonight, as was 2 laps down for Ollie Peacock from UK and I after those incidents that unfortunately brought his race unstuck. Strength of field, as we said, 43.11. Fantastic show out or turnout from the Skippy community here tonight. The fastest lap, a 37.6 from Christian Perez, being towed around by Ben Smith here tonight. Corey, look, it wasn't quite the race we had at Spa last week, but certainly some skill out there tonight, Corey.
Yeah, indeed it was, Alex. And the drivers continue to turn it up each and every single week, and it's just really awesome to see the level of competition just continue to rise. And each and every week we're treated to an absolute spectacle, and this week was absolutely no surprise about how well it went. And each and every single driver should be patting themselves on the back, no matter where they finished, because they put on a great show for all of us, both here in the broadcast booth and sitting in the chat, whether they're watching it, on Twitch or in the replay on YouTube. It's just been a great spectacle so far this season, and I look forward to seeing where we go in the future.
Yeah, that's it, Corey. It's been another good week of Skippy racing. As I said, not quite the bumper crop that we've seen in the weeks before with Nords and Spa, but massive turnout. This, in fact, it's our biggest strength of field of the season at 4,300 plus. So the Skippy, along with the lockdown, going from strength to strength, or should I say, with the lockdown, going from strength to strength. But just like that, there's light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully, and hopefully where folks you find yourselves at the moment, you're getting some light at the end of the tunnel too with this pandemic, because she's been interesting, that's for sure. But it looks like nobody's rocked up for an interview. There's a few blokes down having a chin wag in the general chat, but no one waiting for. Oh, we're in the wrong channel. That's why. Hang on. There we go. They couldn't see us there, Corey. I had us in the live stream, not the broadcast booth. Maybe that was the problem. But anyway, folks, it was a great race up front. I thought particularly skillful from one Ben Smith defensively, and Perez. I tell you what, if we can get him regularly on a Sunday night, there'll be plenty of action, and he'll certainly, I reckon, from what I've seen in recent weeks, he'll be one to watch.
Yeah, indeed he will, Alex. The skill that he showed tonight was definitely on a level that could challenge Benjamin Smith for the rest of the season. So fingers crossed we can get him back. And he's definitely cracked his 5K right now with that second place finish. It'll be interesting to see what he can do, especially when we can mix it up with some of our more regular drivers, like the Timmy Gorecrotchers or the Ben Snells, even some of our international competitors that we haven't seen for a while. You know, it'd be interesting to see just how it can all mesh together and become something really great. And I'm just having a look through the field, and we're also missing one Timu Vascalampi from the field as well, which is a little bit unfortunate. And hopefully, we can see him mixing it up again. As I think we just had someone enter the green room now that we were in the right channel.
Yeah, it might help if I put us in the right channel, eh? There you go. Mr. Ben Smith joining us after. Look, I've got to say, really, really solid drive defensively there in the last little laps, after last few laps, I should say, after setting the track alight with some pace throughout. Ben, great drive, mate. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, it's good to be back on the top step. It's been a little while since being on the top step of the Sunday night lights race. So yeah, it was good of Christian to kind of work together with me throughout the race. Kind of the championship part of me was thinking wasn't going to do anything on the last lap, just kind of let him take it and just grab a good bag of points. But the racer in me said, nah, we're going to see what we can do on the last lap. And I feel like it was pretty fair between the both of us, a lot of room left. Where that contact was made, I was as far right as I could be without obviously getting a slowdown. And looking at the replay, his car was on the ripple strip. So, I mean, it was pretty even. I'm surprised we made it that far around. But yeah, congrats to Christian on second, Dennis on third.
Yeah, mate, it was a good drive throughout. I thought, look, some of the lines you were taking there at the end were really great in terms of defensively. Didn't compromise too much. Always made sure your opponent had a compromise, or at least the outside line, particularly through those sweeping right-handers out the back. And as you say, there wasn't a lot in that last one. It was very tight. It was a long way over to the right, and apart from a little bump off the curbing, I don't know that there was much more that you could have done, to be honest. And certainly would have gone down as a racing incident in my book anyway. But listen, top drive, mate. Great to have you back in the field. Congrats on the top step again, as you say. That was a great result in look, a really, really strong field. And most of all, I'm glad that the ANZ guys didn't get punted from the serve, as has been the case regularly tonight, unfortunately. And hopefully out of that, you'll claw a bit at least of the I rating back. And hopefully that'll bring you back in the coming weeks, mate. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to while you're here?
Well, a big shout out to the iRacing service for keeping us online. Was a bit worried about it going into the race, but thanks to the guys at ERT, we got a new skin on this week. Just showing our sponsors: Panda Race Fuels, Mira Racewear, Logitech G. Yeah, and it's good to see Marcelo Rivera back on the track. It's been a little while since he was out, but one of my good mates. So happy to have him back along again.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, Ben. Thanks once again for joining us. It's great to have you on board and leading the way. It's great to have an ANZ driver back on top as well. So congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you again in the coming weeks.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Cheers for the broadcast.
There you go, Corey, Ben Smith once again. Great smile on his dial, no doubt, after taking out a hard-fought victory. Again, I was really impressed with the lines that he took. Hats off to Perez as well. He's always a great guy to race with, if I'm honest, and no doubt he'll be smiling too. He may not have got top step on the podium, but he put on a great show and managed to hang on for second.
Well, that's exactly right, Alex. And as racers, they would appreciate, just how hard fought that last lap was. They were battling it out side by side and, giving each other just millimeters to work with, even with how buggy the servers are. That's just, the epitome of skill that we could hope for here for these races. And, hopefully we get more of it because we like some good, hard, close, fast racing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks, that might about do us for tonight. Corey, what do you got coming up in the week ahead?
So we've got a lot of dirt action coming up on Tuesday night. I've got the Fast Lane Esports series. It's a fixed pro late model and an open 360 race. Both of them being at Kokomo, so that should be death. On Wednesday on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel, twitch.tv/Aussie Sim Commentator, Aussie_Sim_commentator. We have the next round of the NASCAR league that we're running over there, which should be at Martinsville, a tight little paperclip track, which will be absolute death. There'll be a lot of crashes in that one, and it'll be a little bit of eye pacing, but we'll try and keep it as entertaining as we can. Thursday night, we've got ODSE Power Series for the 360s, and that one is going to be from Williams Grove, a long track as far as dirt tracks are concerned. And then, of course, Friday night race club. Alex, we've got a little bit of racing to do there as well. I'm not sure what car we've got for this week, but either way, it should be an absolutely entertaining race.
Yeah, Riley Prototypes, mate, should be a lot of fun. But yeah, Top Split TV, all the places you can find us are now on your screen at the moment. Of course, the race replays will be up on our YouTube channel at the Top Split. Discord is where we do the broadcast for it, and you can find us here each and every week as long as I put us in the right channel. That's where we do the post-race broad interviews from as well. Topsplit.com is where you find all the old material. And, of course, I'll be back here during the week for a bit of skippy action with myself in the saddle. I'm on the road back down to about 1.5K, I think, at the moment, but we'll see how we go. Otherwise, folks, thank you very much for joining us here once again. Really do appreciate the support. Good numbers in the broadcast here tonight, and fantastic turnout on track, of course, as well. But until next time, I've been your host, Alex McKellar, and joining me, as always, is the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Until next time, I'll say ciao for now.